Hey guys, let's go over 3 shadow boxing drills that you can implement to improve your boxing. So let's get into our first drill. For this one, you're going to need a mirror and you're going to stand in front of this mirror. We're going to be doing a you go, I go style drill. So what's going to happen is you're going to throw a combo and then you actually have to defend that same combo. So this can be kind of interesting and fun to think about, and it also gives us good defensive tools that we can work on, right? Something that people typically struggle with is something like a catch, and this is a great place to practice where you can see your form in the mirror. So let's get into it, all right? So you would set that timer for however long you're planning on shadow boxing, right? Automatically I'm getting in that stance, getting ready to go, and then I'm going to have some combos planned out, and then you're going to defend those same combos, okay? So we're going to start with our 1, 2, 3, all right? So I've got that 1, 2, 3 right here. I'm going to be fighting an orthodox guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice maneuvering out of the way of a jab. So I'm going to move out of the way of that 1. I'm slipping out of the way of the jab, okay? Then that cross is coming right over my shoulder. So I'm going to kick this hand up. I'm going to catch, and then I'm going to catch again for that 3, leaning into that side. So I've got that 1, 2, 3. I'm going to slip, catch, catch off either side. All right, another example of this, another thing that we can practice on here would be a 1-1-6. So frequently jabs are doubled up. This gives me a great chance to defend a jab in different ways. So I'm going to throw that 1-1-6, 1-1-6 right over the top, right? I'm right back to that bladed stance, okay? And then for my defense, I can start to add in a little bit more footwork as well. So now I'm trying to evade my opponent's 6. So for me, I'm going to use my pivot out to do this. So I'm going to work with those jabs. Maybe I'm going to duck, and then I'm going to slip, and then I'm going to practice pivoting from there. So I'm going to pivot on that front foot, get out of the way of that 6. Mix up the defense, see how this applies to your boxing. Okay, another great shadow boxing drill involves a cone. So I got my little beat up cone right here, and this can kind of act as somebody's front foot. So when I'm boxing, right, I've got my front foot right next to somebody else's front foot, and then I have to practice maneuvering around this. Now I can practice using my punches to change angles and practice my footwork, okay? So for those pivots, right, we teach a quarter turn with those pivots, so I can start turning around this guy right here, right? So that's my pivot in, okay? And then for my pivot out, I'm stepping to the outside of that cone, evening out from there with those nice clean quarter turns, okay? Now I can start practicing covering up this pivot, covering up this movement with my jab. So now I'm going to shoot my jab, rotate through for that pivot, changing angles, okay? Same thing for that pivot out, and then I can do that same thing for any of the other stuff that we're working on. I can start adding in some more punches. Maybe I'm going to step up to the cone, so I've got that 1, 2, 1, 1, and then pivoting in, looking for that 3 after, right? I can start practicing a little bit more defense, just like we did up front, but the whole point is that now I have to maneuver around this cone as if it's somebody's front foot. Okay, next we've got our slip line. Now this is another great shadow boxing tool. I have mine up in a ring. However, really you just need a really tight rope that you can put in between 2 things. When you're lining this up for height, you want it to sit right on top of your shoulder, okay? And then from here, I can visualize and practice getting off the straight line in boxing. And the straight line is where 1s and 2s come down the center, right? It's where most of the volume comes from the outside of the pocket. So when I'm working off of this line, right, now I can practice moving my head, working my way in, walking forward and back. So maybe before I even start adding in punches, now what I'm doing is I'm just rolling underneath, right? I'm just trying to line this guy up right on that shoulder, okay? But now I'm going to start throwing on my way in. I'm going to throw some jabs. I'm lined up, roll under. I'm coming back with that cross, and then I'm able to work my way in a little bit more, okay? You can do the same thing backwards. So I'm going to start moving backwards, right? Practicing moving my head, throwing on my way up, changing angles from there. Okay. You can also move facing this way, right? So now I can practice rolling underneath this line, moving in and out from there. So I'm going to practice rolling straight forward and in and getting those hands up in a high guard, and then I'm moving right back, okay, throwing an extension. All right, you guys, so those are 3 drills that you can implement to help improve your shadow boxing. Let us know what you think.